Oh, it says we on.
Good afternoon,
Got
everyone.
got a timer.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Experiment here. Welcome to M&M Exhibition Poultry Talking Chickens number 37. Kind of a recap of the Ohio National, the ABA National meet. And at the same time, we're doing a little bit of trying to do this live. Whether it works or not, it's anybody's guess. So we're going to try it and see what happens. And then we're also recording this, hopefully, in the process, and it will go up on YouTube and on Spotify. As always, thank you to our sponsors, Reserve's Poultry Supply, Eagle Nest Hatchery, and also to Hatching Time, of which we are an affiliate, and the affiliate link will be in the comments or in the description on YouTube when it gets up, and it'll also be in.
Got Greg Cole.
I see that. Good evening, Greg. So I guess someone sees this anyway. But you can get on that link and you get $10 off your first $100 if you are a new, user of Hatching Time products. And if not, it's a great way to help sponsor our thing because we do get a small piece of everything sold by Hatching Time. Matt and I do use Hatching Time incubators. Matt has the brooders. We have the hatchers and everything else.
Getting some feedback from Jacob Bates.
I have static, Jacob.
Melissa Shuckers. Hi, Melissa.
Jacob says I have static.
Let me see if I can edit your mic settings. Looks like you got it all done.
A little. Maybe if I stop moving.
There you go.
Still. Matt is clear.
Well, that's always the way it is, Jacob. You know that.
I guess that's more important. Since he's there. Give me 1 second here. Let me see if I can fix my mic. Hold on.
So while Mike's repairing technical difficulties, like he said, Hatching Time, Rosiers, oh boy, did we get a bunch of feedback and talk with I talked to all the Rosiers over the weekend and they were busy. I don't know if you got to go over there at the show, but man, that place was hopping all weekend. I think they did really well, sold a lot of stuff and a lot of recommendations. So helped us out a bunch with bought some of our extra standards. There's Mr. Cramps. Hey, Shane, how's Canada? I missed you this weekend. Or if you was there, I never seen you. There's a whole lot of people that was on that exhibitor list I never got to see.
Hi, Shane. Well, I can't do anything about it. So next time I won't wear these headphones. I'll wear a different set. I really don't know. I've never tried to use a speaker on these before. I know I can hear perfect. If it can't hear me, well, sorry. Get every third word. That's about all it counts when I talk anyway. So it's gonna be just fine.
Well, kind of was going to start with heading out on Friday. So we got our protege, Camden Cosart, out of school on Friday. So we got out of here about 9 o'clock and rolled into the big city about 10:30 and got out back and got a good spot, but there were still lots of folks coming in. And so we got all of our birds unloaded and all of our ABA stuff unloaded and went to work. What do you got, Mike? I think that's about all I got.
Yeah, on that, I knew it was a very long day with the ABA meeting. That evening, it was like, I don't know how many hours. It was like 12 hours earlier, or 10 hours, or whatever the hell it was. But we were there a long time that day. It was very tiring. So that's about it for them. We put our birds in and didn't do anything with them because it was just they were tired and we were tired. We let them be chickens. I do know that. So, and then early on Saturday morning, we were up early. Wasn't real steady, but we were up early and headed in on Saturday morning, and Saturday was such a blur. I I didn't get any videoing done between the qualifying meets and you were judging and everything. It was an absolute blur on Saturday. So
Mr. Todd, we just mentioned his youngin. He
Hi,
was
Todd.
under our control over the weekend. Hi, Todd.
Yeah, we brought
Yeah, it was Saturday was crazy. We were busy when we got there, getting again like we're trying to. I guess Friday the ABA table really wasn't open, but they did a tremendous amount of business for not being open. We got the auction birds lined up. I want to thank Mike for all of his work getting them auction birds and everyone that donated. I don't want to name you all because I know I'll miss somebody, but that was the biggest, best, I think, nicest auction we ever had. Gosh, it just amazed me. We broke several pairs or trios, broke the old record of $600. The grand total was well over $7,000 in the auction, and there was the pictures, the books, everything went real well. I mean, it was just crazy. I guess it was so big. We're going to have to get more people over there when we finalize it next time because it was new for us too because we just never had that much stuff. But I know the apparel, Karen, Kim, and Kevin, they sold out of pullover sweatshirts, and we had just reloaded. We sold a lot of, especially on Sunday, we sold a lot of zip ups because that's all we had left. Everybody was cold. But hats, standards, Jesus, everything. The whole deal was busy moving. So I think we'll have that announcement in the newsletter. But it was a record sales forever at a national, so by quite a bit.
Yeah, by quite a bit. And Steve was there.
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah,
Steve from Connecticut and
his the aprons, they sold out. I don't think there's an apron left when I managed to wander up there to get one.
Yep.
So that was
those are really neat. They did a good job on those.
I think so too.
The show itself, Lord, finally started judging about 9 and ended up myself in the junior show. I had 4 classes of Bantams: Moderns, Old English, AOCCL, and
Rosecomb, didn't you?
Rosecombs, and then I got them done and went and did the guineas. But good thing about Columbus, there's 200 birds in a whole row, and I done better than 3 rows in a part. So we had a lot of stuff to get done in that junior show, and we got the champions picked right there about the time they were. Dan was up there. We had to get them picked so Dan could go announce the Hall of Fame champions. Congrats to all those folks. Very well deserving. That's a neat thing that committee and group does. So I was glad to see that. The junior awards again are just fantastic when they're giving them away. And then we got called away to the ABA general meeting, so we were in that, and then they got me to go pick the champion. So didn't get to quite finish the general meeting, but yeah, it's just like every year at Columbus, it's busy, but when they have a national, it's even busier. So Mike and I did go Friday. We make our annual trip over to the sale barn. So I told him, I thought either we sell our chickens too cheap or what. Some of the money that was changing hands over there is insane. And that was a busy spot, and that was fairly early, about noon on Friday, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it was early. It wasn't because we
a lot of stuff. A lot of people gone, sold out of their stuff already, and it was that early on Friday, and some of them hadn't even got there yet. So got to wander through the artwork of Clell's, and that auction went fantastic. I've heard some different numbers, but it was well over $70,000 total in that artwork. That all got to go to new places, and it got to go the way he wanted it. He wanted chicken people to have it, and that's what they did. There were chicken people there and bidding some crazy money for some stuff. I stood aghast. I told Emily that she needs to, when I die, she needs to probably sell this stuff. There's Melissa Eaton. Hi, Melissa.
Todd, they were nice. They were nice Orloff.
Yeah, there's Todd. And so Todd was an old Orloff Bantam guy way 20-some years ago. And the gentleman that put him in the auction is actually the guy he originally bought him from. So I got to talk to Curtis quite a bit there, and he enjoyed the show. And he doesn't get to go to many, but he still has all the colors of large fowl Bantam Orloff. So that was kind of neat.
That he's dedicated when you've had him as many years as he had.
Yep, and he stood up there the whole day watching them. And anybody that wanted to talk Orloffs, Curtis was talking Orloffs with them. So, and I don't know who got him. The lady that did get him and purchase them, she was tickled to death, and she told him I was going to get these no matter what, and she did.
Yeah, that going back to the auction, I'd really like to thank everybody that I see that, Dan. Yeah, well, one of us was there, but it was kind of late and only for about an hour. Uh, so anyway, the people that donated, I can't thank them enough. Most of them friends of ours that we met. Well, you've seen a lot of them on here and heard a lot about them, and they just there was no junk there. We had the bidding was hot and it was heavy and they got a little confusing at the end, and we will change that. That we will change it so that never happens again. Those that know. The other ones don't need to know. Just know that the auction procedures will probably change a little bit. But anyway, the pairs, the trio of Seabrights was fantastic. Just to name a few, I think the Seabrights or the White Silkies were the toppers, and I'm not sure which one it was. They were close, within a few dollars of each other. But everything brought really good money that really helps the ABA out, and the people that bred them. I mean, it's when the prices things bring. I mean, it was. I mean, they contributed a lot just by giving up their birds. Like I said, there was no junk. Uh, sometimes, I mean, sometimes they're decent birds, but this time there were some really, really good birds, and I think a lot of them can come right out of there. If they want to show them, they can go right to showing them. But if I give that kind of money for something, I'm going to make sure I breed them first. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I'd like to name them, but I know the way that I've
Well,
been
we
going.
need Tony Davis, Ben Pole, and what's the other guy? Because we always say Tony, but we don't get them all. They're all three involved in that. So I wanted to make sure we shouted out to all three of them because they did come up to me on Sunday, and I thanked them, and they were very happy that they were able to help. And Patty Bailey's Black Silkies did very well too. I was glad. Thanks for Patty. She did a good job there with those, and just on down the whole line. And I know we're going to in the newsletter or a constant contact that we kick out here pretty quick. We're going to have all the auction items and what they sold for. We normally don't do that, but everybody was asking, and I couldn't remember, and I had to dig through a whole pile of sheets. And Kim was busy collecting money, so we will get that published. I think that'll be a great thing.
It will be. And that's more recognition. So, hey, listen, folks, when you get that letter, if you're looking for some of this stuff that was, and the breeds and variety was there, those might be some people you might want to contact privately to try to get your breeding stock or an animal. I want to go back. I want to thank a few people myself that I was looking for a few different breeds of different things in different breeds. Projects that we've been working on. Some of
I don't know where he went. I think he's gone. He's chopped clear out, so he's got some issues. So yeah. That's kind of one of the hitches to going live. He was going to thank some of the people that, he was working on some projects. I had a couple as well. So we've been working on partridge Chanticleers for a while, and I was able to get some of those out to some people. The white Chanticleer pair went fairly well in the auction, and I'm glad that I got some of those out because normally don't sell very many of them. But one project that I kind of picked up there's Dan. Yeah, he missed us at the. Are you back? Oh, you froze.
It was me. I looked here and it said I was at 100% on my internet. I don't know what the hell happened there.
Yeah. Anyways, I was going to say about my projects, but Dan kicked in there and said he missed us Saturday night at the Hilton. I can tell you, Dan, I was so tired. Well, I'll admit it, we had way too much fun Friday night. So we normally don't do that, but we won the last dog standing contest in the lounge on Friday night. So Saturday night was a little rough, and I was just tired. I hit the bed there after dinner and never woke back up till 7 in the morning. So that's why we didn't get down there for the party. I think Mike got to go down, but
Yeah, I went down a little later. It's like 9:30. By 10:30, I was back up. Now let me get back to my project thing. So I'd like to thank as I was walking through. I'd like to thank Brett Thompson. He had a piece that I needed, and I appreciate that. Rick Hare, he brought me a couple special things. I appreciate that. John brought some birds down for me that I just want to have because I want them, and I think that's something that I appreciate that. I had Jerry Little send me a couple birds. It's kind of funny when you talk to a friend of yours and you say, I'm looking for a call, and they look at you like, what the hell are you talking about? Well, no one's going to buy it. Here's what I want. I got exactly what I wanted, and just to make sure he sent 2, and Bill Wolf brought them to me, and I appreciate that because we didn't make any connections. I know I'm missing someone, so give me a second.
I'll give you mine. I only had one, so I was lucky. Well, I actually had 2. I only brought back 2 projects, and one was just an addition to an existing one. So thanks, Ray Dillon, for getting me another pair of quail water mall, because I didn't have any fertility or any luck with what I had last year. So hopefully I've got that going. So Ray got that for me, and he also helped unload a few extra cockerels that I had here. And then I've been for years, I loved them when I had them, large fowl dark brown leghorn, single comb dark brown leghorns. Well, I had to let them go a few years ago, and I always wanted some bantams, and I never seen any that suit me. And I got to judge Dick Holmes' birds before he passed, and I knew Don Schrader had Dick and Irvin's line of dark browns. So Don got me a pair of single comb light brown leghorn bantams, and they are here. So we plan to kind of play with them a little bit. Lovely birds. He did a great job. He got me, again, exactly what I wanted. And we had to dig through Don's trailer. I don't think you could have got another chicken in Don's trailer with a shoehorn. He had brown leghorns in there every which way, and laughing chickens and everything. But we got them. I sent some partridge chanticleers back to one of his proteges. So everybody was happy there, and we got our birds all rounded up and gathered up, and that was the project part of it. Columbus is always the spot to get those birds. So,
and Jimmy Sorrells.
Yeah, Jimmy Sorrells picked us up too.
Excellent birds. Jimmy, if you're listening, I'm tickled to death. Now, if I don't screw everything up, we should be all right. That's always an if with me. So we'll see what happens there. And Bridget Riddle,
Yep.
she brought a bird out for us, and when that pops up, you're all going to wonder what the hell happened to me. But there's a time, there's no time like the present. You're never getting any younger, no matter how old you are. You never know when it's over, it's over. So if there's anything you want to do and try, hey, don't let anybody talk you out of it. Try it.
Yep. The study never. What's the old guy that always said? The study never ends. That might have been Ralph Sturgeon. The study, or one of those old time judges always said the study never ends. So yeah, that's it. Always like to pick up something new. Sometimes it sticks. Sometimes they're gone about as fast as they get here. But I think these will stay around a while. And Jimmy Sorrells, thank you, and your partner for the auction birds too. Those old English birds got a lot of interest. Troy LaRoche was in moderns. I remember those. Dennis Myers in the reds. My God, what more can we ask for? Matt Burnett in the White Rocks. I think I've got them about all covered. The Cornish come from Jeff Wilson.
TNT Cornish.
TNT Cornish.
They had Jack in AOCCL on a really nice hand, and actually had a peacock.
Yes, that's my pet peeve. No peacombs on them Cornish. Good job, Jeff. Karen Unrath, Kevin. Some of the best. They don't get to show much anymore, but some of the best quail d'Anvers. And I was on them at the beginning because I've never had them quail, but I always wanted some. So I thought, wow, these things are going to go for what I think they're worth. So I got them going. But everybody asked me about them, and I thought, well, she's got a good line. Steve from Connecticut.
Yep.
Black d'Anvers. Those was as good a black d'Anvers as I've seen in a long time. So.
And call ducks from Dustin.
Call ducks from Dustin Wilson. So that whole group in there was great. Polish, Melissa Shuckert.
Let's just,
almost the best AOCCL in the show was a white crested black out of her line. So Melissa's on. So thanks, Melissa.
thanks, Melissa. And
There's,
Samantha,
Sam Wolf,
you tell
Grandpa.
that ain't going to happen.
You know, we're going to act just like him, Sam. That's scary. Hannah, thanks for coming on. So one thing, Mike and we got to thank everybody that come up and said something about this crazy podcast. So when he started this and drug me along reluctantly, I thought, oh Lord, and I just can't believe that. Number one, the amount of juniors that we had come up to us there. So we're trying to clean our act up some. I'm not going to guarantee it's 100%. We will try to clean our act up some for the kids. Oh yeah, and Emily was messing with her buddy Nate Reinish on them shants when she could have come here and got whatever she wanted, but she was bound and determined she was going to bid against him on those white Chanticleers. And Nate actually has the white Chanticleers. He was one of the few people I shared them with that he got to take that pair home. That pair I didn't want to get rid of. Nate's got them.
So yeah, it was really good. Had a lot of, it kind of blew my mind, the people, and be honest with you, I am not the greatest with names. I know faces, I know names, but a lot of times I don't put them together. And it was amazing, the people. And what got me, Matt, was the people that said they came to the show, and on the way to the show, because it's a long drive for a lot of people, they listened to the Spotify, and I said, Jesus, like a hype music for a ball team. They're listening to it about talking about showing and breeds, and they were all ready to go when they got to Columbus. I just thought that was so neat to listen to those.
We even blowed our egos up because Mike and I signing autographs for these kids and standards and lots of stuff. It was a great time. If you see us at a show, please come up and say something because it kind of keeps us going. We've got a list of people, Lord knows, that we're trying to get everybody on. I was trying to move on to the auction. We talked a little bit about that. That was just fantastic. It was I didn't get a number because I knew I'd be dangerous if I did. So I just sit around and watched everybody else I knew that loves that artwork as much as I do spend their money, and several did, and they all got new homes. And like I said, they all went to the places that Clell wanted them to go to other chicken fanciers and not stuck in a museum or a gallery somewhere. So they will all grace those pages. He spent a lifetime collecting them. He encouraged me to collect that stuff over the years and told me when to buy and when didn't buy. Oh yeah, she got best of variety guinea. That's Hannah. Matt, is that the juniors, Hannah? Because I got to go judge those, and we did a little guinea correcting and talking back there while we were there. There's Jane. Hi, Jane. So, the auction, I guess that was great. Everything got to go where it needed to go. And that money will be used in the trust to keep the Ohio National going. That's what Clell wanted. I can't say enough about Tim, Newt, Dennis, Mike Stitzler, Bill Long, Mary Noveska and Tim Noveska, Betty Weingartner, that whole crew back there worked their butt off all weekend. And, we said it this morning when him and I were talking about doing this. There was no problems other than the fire alarm going off. And I think Emily said that was Clell just checking on everybody, but one off without a hitch. I mean, Newt was all over that building. I know he's not probably getting out of bed today, but I would be way in the back of that building and he'd be right next to me. And then I was up in the front in the meeting room and he's right. So I don't know how many steps Newt got in that day, but he was all over it, getting everything taken care of, fixing all the problems. And I think they had went off without a hitch. It was very well run. Okay, Hannah, I didn't do open class guineas. I did junior guineas, but congratulations.
They did a really good job, and the whole energy of the place was really good, and people were excited, but it just seemed more relaxed. I mean, it was very, very, very busy and very hectic. But at the same time, it was one of the best ones I'd ever been to there. And I appreciate that. I bet Newt put a lot in because I know that I put 28,000 steps in on Saturday. And I didn't, I clerked. But I
Yeah,
mean, it's amazing. Uh,
so we'll have to tell that story
yeah.
while we're on here. So my granddaughter got a pair of Birchin Moderns. Well, about 2 years ago, I decided that I couldn't get my Moderns outside. So my buddy Rick Bond, I said, come get them all. And he did. And God knows he's done really well with them since he's had them, but he raised a few. And Emily got a pair back for my granddaughter. And that was a hit. So she's going out to see her box and holding her chickens. And Lord knows, Sam Wolf, we got another modern nut at 2.5 years of age. So there's Tyler Greer. Hi, Tyler. Yeah, there's people there that I'd seen on Sunday that I didn't even know they were there. I was looking at the exhibitors list this morning. I never seen Jeff Schenk the whole weekend, and one of my best friends, I never got to see him. I didn't even know he was there. So it's like crazy when you get to these shows, especially when you're judging, because you get in those aisles you're working, and I didn't get all the way around. I don't think I looked at any open class birds other than my own.
I did, except when I took a brief tour of Champion Row. I have no clue what was large fall. I looked at the bantams, and I don't even think when I was up there all the large fall was in. That was a kind of a different thing for me. I'm not really sure where my head was, which we know that when we cooped out. That's like Tim Ballinger. Timmy was there, and I saw him in a trailer. I yelled, "Hi, Tim!" And I thought, "Well, I'll see him later." I never saw him the rest of the weekend, and that was Friday.
A lot of people work that sale area, so they don't get over there much, and we just don't get time to go over to the sale area. So other than to go to the auction for the birds there on the pictures on Saturday night, I just didn't get over there. So I miss a lot of people over there.
And honestly, Matt, with the Friday and Saturday night, we weren't down in the lobby of the hotel like we usually are early and stay. So that's like with Dan when he said he missed us. Well, we were there, but it's like we weren't there at the time we usually we eat, and we're down there when we went out to eat. That's another extravaganza. But I mean,
it's always fun to go to eat in Columbus on a Saturday night. So that's.
It's not. He's lying. That's the whole. Absolutely.
Yeah. Wrong. Well, the problem was we didn't eat anything all day, so we never stopped. And then when we finally decided to eat about 7:30 that night, it was pretty hungry, and it probably took them 45 minutes to get our table ready. So we got a little ready.
They put together tried to shove all of our big asses, all of us, in 2 tables, and instead we got up and took the 3rd table like they should have put together. So it just was a cluster. Now I'm going to get back to Saturday.
So yeah, this is going to be a rambling on mess. I can tell this right now, but hey, we'll get it all in here.
So Saturday I clerked and kind of assisted and give my opinions to Paul Monteith. We had 4 qualifying meets there. We had first, I believe we started with the Wheaton Ceramas, and the Wheaton Ceramas. To me, that was a really, really nice bunch. A lot of consistency, really good tight birds, and I learned a lot. The gentleman there, do you know his name? The main Wheaton Cerama fellow that's had him for years.
Tim Hopkins.
Tim Hopkins. I'm telling you,
Tim is one of the original Cerama guys, so he goes back to Jerry and when they first started.
He really knows Ceramas, and I watched him pose these birds. I mean, we were judging, and we get done. He'd say, "Now look, if you do this," and I'm thinking, I won't remember how to do that, but how they grab them and how they move them, it was pretty amazing to me. Those birds are really nice birds. They went from them to the Ermine Americanas. There were some Ermines over there that had an absolutely perfect head and perfect tone.
That's a beautiful color pattern. I think it's striking.
It's very pretty. They're very nice. They were very consistent. The BB, the Wheatons are very consistent. We moved over to the blue watermales, blue quail watermales, and there were some really nice birds in there. And I kind of thought to myself, I wonder how consistent they are. Well, Go walk down a quail aisle of anything and tell me how consistent they are. So it's tight. There are some very good birds there. I think they looked fine. And then what really struck me was the silver apple yard call duck.
Yes. So as directors, we're supposed to go look at all that stuff. So before I started judging, I made it a point, and they weren't like next to each other. They were all over the place in that building. But
Yep.
those silver apple yard call ducks, I don't need to get back into call ducks, but if I would, that's probably the color I'd get. Those were beautiful.
Very beautiful. And they were all, as Paul said, look, they're calls. And they were calls. I mean, they weren't cold calls. Jackson here. They were call ducks. Nice typey birds. The color was great. It was really good on them and consistent. And they were as consistent as the silver apple yard large ducks. So I mean, that's how you got to look at it. And there were 60 of them there. But
Yes.
always, what I have not yet to get over yet is we've been in this for a long time, and judged a lot of calls. And even when we're not judging, or when we work, we both like calls, so we always walk call lines. Always. I had never, or I don't remember ever seeing a silver apple yard, and to have 60 show up, and I'm telling you, they were really nice birds.
Yeah,
So
that was a good class. Yeah, Hannah, I'm glad glad you said that, because I think sometime the Ohio National gets a big bad rap from some people, but they are very welcoming and helping to new exhibitors, and that's an intimidating show to go to for your first time, regardless, just because of the sheer size and logistics. So glad to see that comment.
I didn't even know Tom was there.
I seen Tom back in the sale barn, and that was it. Yeah, and outside, I think once. Yep.
While the suits were picking the champions. Very good way to put it, Emily. Dan, you're one of those.
Well, thanks for that, though, because that was Jeff Hallback, Kyle Tripp, and Corey LaRoche that did the final run there. So that's a big ask for somebody. I wouldn't do it. Number one, because you're never going to see my big ass in one of them fancy suits, because I don't think I own one. It was lucky enough to get me in a tie there to judge in blue jeans. So thanks to those guys for putting on the show. And it's great that thanks for Tim Noveska for all of his filming and getting that done, because we just didn't have time. So I shared a bunch of Tim's films on our page, and I did do a walkthrough of the Champion Rows because everybody wants that. So I did get that, and made some comments. I was going along there. Just old Matt the judge, one of my favorite birds up there on Champion Row, and some of them weren't there when I did it, but I love that Narragansett turkey, so that's my favorite turkey. Good job on that, Jacob Bates. I think you judged the turkey, so that was a heck of a turkey. That kind of caught my eye right off the bat, and there's lots of beautiful birds up there, so they had their job cut out for them. The Reserve American Dominic, maybe the best Dominic large-fowl male I think I ever seen. That was a gorgeous bird just from walking down through there. And then that's why you see the black coaching on the back there, because our buddy beat us. So we go back and forth. But I remember when Matt McCammon started in this hobby, and there isn't anybody that deserved that more.
Nope. No, I called Matt afterwards. We're emotional. He's a real good friend, a real good breeder, and a better person. And if we couldn't do it, that's who I wanted to do it. Is Matt is. Thank you for Gary Rossman for finding that bird. Half-ass thank you, because we were reserved, but Matt beat us.
The great thing is, it's been a long time. There's been lots of coachings on Champion Row.
A lot of
I do not ever remember. You're going to have to fill me in. I don't remember one winning Best of Show, and I've been going there since 1972.
LeGrand, 1980 or 81, with a white coaching hen. Because
probably the last one.
The last one I can remember. There may have been more, but that's the last one I remember. This was a real nice hen. Gary Rossman found her. Really, really glad he did. We managed to place some. We did get first cockerel, and it was a huge class of cockerels. I really like him. We did have best in reserve white. We were blessed with that. It was a huge coaching class. Could have stood a nice meet, but that's okay. We won't get into that here. But
I'm glad that Gary judged them number one, because I always hate when they're on top of largemouth, because that's not the place for coaching, because their coaches are looking down on you. And Gary, thank God, was tall enough he could look about eye level with them. And if it had been one of us short, fat guys judging them, we'd have shavings in our underwear. So I'm glad Gary got to do that. And that's a tough class to work. There was lots of nice silkies, lots of nice everything there in the feather leg class. So for
really nice.
Dan, that was probably one of the better Buff Brahma females I've seen in a long time. My God, the color was perfect.
Yep.
So good job there for Dan, if you're still on.
Yep. And with the, I told Gary, I said, well, that black had a severe advantage. Now, listen, folks, she was the best one there. Okay. But I got to give crap, it's me. I said, well, Matt got lucky because even I could look over her back and see her. The rest of them, you couldn't look over the top of them. And he just laughed. He said, oh, I could. I saw quick. So, we got to give each other a crap. But really proud of Matt.
Yep. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
And he to say that he was totally surprised would be a total understatement. Yeah. So good luck, boy. Coming for you.
Emily said this morning, I don't think he hit the ground probably till he got to Richmond, and that famous arch that you always comment on when we go through there. So he probably didn't hit the ground till they got there. So.
And Dan, that was a one. The evenness of her color, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. There's been some good colorways, but man, she a good tight bird too.
Not since the days of Bill Bowman. I haven't seen one. So
she was small. Shane, I have no clue who did anything. I don't know who. Truthfully, I can't tell you for sure who was reserve champion Bantam or anything, because I just didn't.
I think, the bad thing about that show, Shane, it's so big, not one class is done by one person. Even in the Bantams, sometimes they get split up.
When you get 500 of a 450 or something, well, and you've got, how many judges do we have? 12, 13? It's still.
They also have the breed clubs to deal with, so sometimes the breed clubs will select other people. So it probably was a consensus on single combs, and I know that class was big enough. Even feather legs, I don't think Gary did all the feather legs. I think somebody else did silkies.
Brian did the silkies and the Bravos.
Yep.
That I know.
That's Terry Hofacker's on it with the Rosecomb Federation is back. So there was
Eric Loads. I mean, I was there, and Mr. Loads won with the black female. Great job.
There's another one that's been at this a little bit and has really worked hard at it and dedicated and took his lumps. Lord knows, because we always give him and his dad a hard time. His dad's a fine breeder of Rosecomb White Leghorn Bantams, and we talked to him in Arkansas quite a bit because it happened to be running in the same pass, I think. But that's a great win for Eric.
Very
against
good.
Some of the best Rosecomb breeders in the country. Yep.
Well, one lives north of us, and
one probably.
Bill, I know you're probably listening to this, or you will, but I'm glad Eric won if Bill couldn't win. So no,
I think Bill was just as happy as Eric was.
He was. So that was a good deal.
We got our new talking chickens. Mike's sister-in-law made these for us. Coffee mugs. Just figure I better stick that in there while we were babbling on.
Folks, we just haven't got around to it. It's like we've been just a tad bit busy.
Boy, I can't say enough about the food. So, that commissary there at the show, it usually just plain old sucks. But a couple years ago, Schmidt's German Village down in their restaurant down in German Village, and they got them all over Columbus, took over the catering for the fairgrounds, and I went to get lunch. That's one reason why I didn't eat it. I think there were 75 people in line to get lunch. So I thought, well, ain't gonna get no sauerkraut and brats and whatever for lunch. I just kept on going, but that's a big improvement, having them there.
Much
And,
better. And they did our ABA,
yeah, they did our meeting. They catered that.
directors meeting. That was some good stuff, man. That sauerkraut was wild. It was really good. Hannah Eagles Nest does have a Facebook page, but it is not up yet. They have a little bit more stuff to do, and it should be up shortly. And when it is up, we will put it on M&M, either on the page or on here. That's great. That's great, Melissa. Yeah, it's nice when people that can't be there can still be there. So that's a good thing. Yep, it'll be there, Hannah. I will let you know when. We're trying.
Yep, the website, all that stuff's coming. I told Dustin to be ready, 'cause that was probably the second, besides the podcast, that was probably the second most thing people were happy about, was him taking over that hatchery. So Lord knows we had him with us all weekend. This is going to be about his last hurrah. We're all going to Knoxville, but after that, he's going to get busy, because he's going to, I think his first batch is due in January. So, and he's got a couple test hatches before that to make sure everything's working. So they're going to get to it. And at least we have that place now to refer people to that want, some showbirds from a hatchery, which is usually the first thing we tell them not to do. So besides, a lot of our birds are there. So you're going to get some stuff. No, we're not going to Kentucky. We Tyler, we had to take, better put that up there. We normally do go to Kentucky in one way or another, but because we had to do Arkansas the 2 weeks ago, and this has got a week off, and then Mike goes to California the next week. So
I leave Wednesday to go to my buddy Ben Porter's and spend a little time on the porch if it's not too damn cold. And then we're flying out of Nashville. Ben and I are both judging Jimmy Anderson's show, and we're going to do the Del Mar thing, and we're going to do that, and then I'll be back home probably sometime Monday, because I fly back. I mean, listen, it's really beautiful when I don't remember what time we get back in. I may drive back from Ben's, but knowing me, I'd rather eat some of Cheryl's home cooking and sit on the porch, and Ben and I can talk things over, and then I'll probably come on home on Monday morning. That's my plan. What happens, I don't know. Hopefully we can get there fine with the shutdown and everything. I know it's going to end, but that doesn't necessarily mean that things lighten up real quick. Everything's a process, right? So we'll see. I know my flight back is confirmed. Southwest, I haven't heard a damn thing on the flight going. So we'll see how that goes. And that's the direct flight. So hopefully
you don't have to worry about coming back if you don't get there.
That's exactly right. And if nothing comes through and dumps 14 inches of snow on us or some horse crap like that. I mean, waking up this morning to 3 inches of snow, and it went from 60 degrees to, well, when we got on here, Matt and I both at the same temperature, 29, and the wind chill, it's 19. Chickens didn't really think that was really pretty neat this morning when I went out. So,
yeah, I think I put on the Facebook page, my truck was buried in snow. The driveway's clear, but all the snow's on the truck. So we had a pretty good. Got down to 24 last night and probably had 3 or 4 inches. And then unfortunately the neighbors, he's got a pretty good sized grain operation over there. His grain bed caught on fire. So we had fire trucks out there, and this morning it was so smoky you couldn't see the road. So prayers to them, and hopefully it didn't do a whole lot of damage, but it doesn't look good from here. So
yeah, that stuff smolders a long time too.
I think they believe a dryer caught on fire and burnt the grain. So it smells like I don't know, it's got a weird smell. I know that. So
from the bottom up.
Yep. So what else we got about the show? I know
stuff.
I want to comment about the construction. So, we got all this beautification going on at the fairgrounds. I didn't even know if we could even get there or not. So once we figured out how to get in and out of the place, Lord knows that was a kind of a trick and kind of limited parking. But when it's all done next year at the Ohio National, you'll wonder where all these beautiful buildings come from. So
takes some uglification to get the beautification done.
Evidently.
Jesus, that place torn to shreds.
And it's been this way for a couple of years, because they started at the state fair. We were down there a couple of years ago and said it would be
they moved to that side of the fairgrounds. And the funny thing was, it was a blessing that Ohio State did not play at home this weekend because the traffic was a little easier and the congestion was a little bit better. But Columbus just keeps growing and it just keeps booming. Next year for the APA National, which will be at Columbus, Ohio State more than likely will be at home. So kind of keep that in the back of your head when you're figuring out things to do.
Yep, get those rooms reserved early. That's for sure. So, hey, lead the way down there, Tyler, for us at Kentucky. Normally we're down there either judging or showing. It just didn't work out this year, but we do plan to go to Knoxville. So that was the last one on our agenda for this year.
Yeah, and thanks to Cotton for keep reminding me that I got to get my entry.
Get your entry in, yeah.
Him and hey, before I left, I got our entries in, so that's a good deal. I took a picture of our entries because I wasn't going to remember
what the hell we entered. I know what I entered.
Yeah, but I didn't know the numbers that I entered. Oh, and one more thing here, Judy, if you're listening to this, I got a box for you at Knoxville.
Seems I had a call into Judy today, and we kind of missed connections, but she wanted to ask some other questions, and I told her we had her birds for her. So,
yeah, I did to say I was a little scattered would be an understatement. Evidently,
well, I think somebody was pushing us along and being scatterbrained, and we really wasn't. So,
I can see it. I'm looking right at we had 2 black pullets in. I'm looking right straight at. I pulled their cups out, and I took the 2 birds out. I didn't. I took Judy's 2 birds out and left our 2 birds there. And thanks to Newt, who said, "Well, damn, that's Mike and Matt's number," and found Dustin. Now Dustin's got our birds, which he's bringing around this week, and then I've got Judy's birds. And Judy, your birds are doing great.
And Judy was already gone, so she had forgot them because I laughed when you said that because Judy called me. She got turned around leaving Columbus, and we're just getting on 71 North, and you know what that's like at that time of day. So I'm directing Judy how to get back to 71 and 33 and back down to 270 and to 33. And so she was already gone before you ever got all the way cooped out. So she forgot them as well. So we got her birds. We'll get them back to her. That's a good thing. I didn't hear much of that, which is a good thing because a show that size, normally stuff either gets left or it's just not hard to do, especially when you have a lot of birds to coop out. So I didn't hear a lot of that. So hopefully Newt didn't have a whole trailer full of them left over because sometimes that happens.
I don't think so. I think because there wasn't a whole lot of posts. There wasn't a lot of people that said they left birds or are missing birds or Newt saying, "Hey, we've got all this stuff here." So
there it is for our buddy Craig Hansen.
Thanks a whole lot, Tyler. We appreciate it. It's just amazing that I'm amazed every day. Every time I woke up and see how many more people and the good comments and very few bad ones, even when we know that it was less than lackluster. I mean, people still enjoy it, and I really like that. A lot of people say they like the stories, and basically that's what we do, right? We're storytellers. I mean, that's
most of them are the truth. Most of them are the truth.
Some are embellished, but if they're embellished, it's because they need to be. Craig, I wish you could have been there too. Man, there was I'm not sure how many, but there's at least a couple hundred coaches there because they were all down 1, 2, 3, almost 4 full rows of coaching that I know of coaching band. So it's really good. Yeah, I don't think anybody left Moderns. If so, Emily, then.
Yeah, the Old English and Modern rows were down when we left, so they were all out of there when we were helping Karen and Kevin get rounded up and get ready to get out of there. So that was all toward the. I think I noticed by 2:00. I think Newt had put up that they were done. So that's a great crew. That teardown crew, the setup crew, second to none, and that teardown crew. That's my least favorite thing. So I'm always appreciative of them. And And the good thing is they don't have to sweep or anything. The state fair comes in and does that, but they do need to get everything back on our trailers and organized for next year. So they got a heck of a crew doing that, and they're all tired and all wore out. So,
but I mean, you think about it, Matt. That's over 8,000 cages down because it was just about 10 o'clock. Like Jeff said, he was amazed how fast it went on Champion Row, how everything agreed. And then when it was done, boom, it was done. But you think that's only like 4 hours that they got everything out of there in 4 hours.
That's a lot of stuff.
It's not one. That's amazing.
Plus the waterfowl building. So you got all those goose coops and stuff over there to get rounded up as well. So they do a great job. Kudos to all of them. I know they'll rest here today, and Mike will be up Wednesday to get feed, and they'll be back planning on what they can do better next year. So
that's the name of it. Yep. Hope you can make it there next year, Chad. It'll be a good show. It always is with the APA National. Where else you want to have it than there? Good deal. Real good deal. I'm trying to think. There was one other thing. I'm trying to think what it was. We always said it, and thanks to Karen and Kevin and Kim.
Yeah, we pack, like I always say, we put 10 gallons of shit in a 5-gallon bucket.
Yep.
When we have a national, because we got so much to do with meetings and then to go back to the general meeting and out there selling stuff. I mean, Kevin and Kim and Karen never stopped. Every time I went over there, and usually I'm just in the way. I can ring up some stuff and help with some little things, but they got that apparel sales down. Now, Matt's not the best size in this and size in that and prices of this and that, but yeah, the apparel that goes out of there is just crazy. I know Steve Wozniak brought us a whole load, and him and George Byer hauled it down from New York. And I think most of it was gone. I don't know that there was hardly any. There were some T-shirts left, but most of the sweatshirts, the vests were gone. The aprons were gone. We went through, probably 70 or 80 standards, a lot of mini standards, everything. All of our wares were.
A lot of books, a lot of Sturgeon books. Yep. I saw Ralph's book going out of there again. And if we mention the name of it, then Kevin's going to be busy shipping.
Yeah, Kevin's going to be mad. So if you don't own a copy of Start Where You Are with Where You Have, get it ordered.
Yeah. Got a pretty cover on it, too. Give Kevin something to do, because Lord knows he doesn't do anything.
Yeah, the leg bands have slowed down a little bit. So get your leg band orders in for next year. Because I think we just got those ordered for next year. So I know she's taking pre-orders.
So that's a good deal. If you're on, yeah, I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say it. Look at that. The filter was on this morning. Can you imagine that? I don't know if there's much more to go through. I do know who had champion Old English. It was Billy Grooms.
Billy Grooms, yep. And I think the reserve was a Spangle. Was that Troy Vanoy's?
Yes.
Yeah, because he's got the most beautiful Spangles I ever seen. So I assumed it was his. If it's not, I apologize, but I just kind of looked like one of his.
Oh, another thing. For the directors, thanks. Because we had only 3 directors, I believe, not there. And I know for sure that 2 of the 3 were on the Zoom call. But I mean, the directors, Troy's from Texas. That's a long way away.
Mark Dooms from Washington, yeah.
Mark Dooms was there. Thanks, Mark. That was 2 weekends in a row. We seen Mark. I don't see Mark for 5 years and 2 times in a row. But yeah, hey, that's a big deal. Remember what I said? All this stuff, that's at their own expense. That's a good deal. Really appreciate you guys being there.
You're right. Neil. There's Mr. Neil. Thanks. Neil brought us our fix. So he bought us our Cheerwine Pop from North Carolina. We got that. So
I drank 2,
Mr. Neil. I've already had 2 of them.
Me too. Yeah. I didn't even see Neil. I didn't see Neil. It's amazing the people that I didn't see. That usually I do see. So. Well, the only time I saw Bill Wolf was one time when I picked up those 2 males from Jerry. I got them talked to I didn't go out there. I didn't even go in. I didn't see anybody else out there. I went to Caitlin's once to get a box. That's it.
And Neil's right. I think Clell spent all these years prepping everybody to do this thing, and they did a great job carrying on in his absence. And I'm sure he was very happy with how it turned out.
Yep. I know I was.
There were some other things I was going to say, and I sure. Oh, I know, coming up. So on Wednesday evening, we'll get it up Wednesday night sometime. Our little buddy Nick Cawthorn's coming on.
Yep.
So we're going to have he's a third generation poultry exhibitor. So I know his grandpa, his dad, and him. And I love it when young kids are as passionate about poultry as he is. That kid lives and breathes these chickens. So be glad to get him on. And Lord knows we might be on here a while.
And I believe he had reserved Bantam of the junior show.
Yeah, I think he did with a white layer, and then he had reserve modern with a black.
Yeah,
so I didn't let him clerk when I was doing his classes, but he come over. He always likes to come over and help me. So he clerked for some of the other classes, and he's a very exceptional clerk. He has he knows we've taught him. He knows what to do and helps us along. And great kid. So I'm glad to see him. Yeah, like Emily says, he's an awesome assistant clerk. Yeah. He would go down with us.
Yeah, no,
he's going to come on for a little bit on Wednesday. We'll get. We had Ashley, and I got to see Ashley at the Ashley Shaw at the show. She did well again. She's just a great kid. So we're going to have one that's kind of in the middle, and then we'll get a beginner on here yet.
We had her parents. I hadn't talked to them, and they had very nice things to say. Oh, I know what to say. What surprises me is the number of people that really enjoyed the Breeders' Cup chicken thing we did with Larry Colmus and with Jim. Jim will be on more often as things now slow down out there. I told him today on the phone that he's our Western correspondent. But Jim will be on, and we have in the works, Larry will come back anytime we'd like him to come back. He started explaining how they know what horse is what by the colors. I thought that was really cool. And that's when his phone died. So he's going to come back on, and we've got plans for other people to come on. Matt Ditterman is the race caller at Oaklawn Park. He's going to come on one time with us, even if it's for a short time. In the works, we've got a couple really high-powered trainers that you all will know if you've watched any horse racing. They're lined up too, and close to here, we have another announcer that's been with it. But I think that helps add. It's kind of a crossover, and so obviously I really enjoy it. But there's a lot of correlation on things, and what you'll find through this whole thing is, like I've always said, it's passion. They have a passion for what they do. Because nothing's ever guaranteed, right? But they have a passion, and they spent their life following that passion and that dream. Hence, again, that's why what Dustin is doing, that tickles the shit out of me. When we were kids, we kind of wanted to do that too, but life intervened, and we didn't get to do it. Matt and his champion show down at Columbus. Talk about a passion. He's had a passion for coaching since he was a kid. Remember, his dad used to bring him to the shows. Wanted Wyandottes, and he knows Wyandottes and coachings, and yeah. So whenever you see a dream fulfilled, and if you can help someone fulfill a dream, God, by all means, do it. So that's my soapbox. That's it for today on my soapbox. Anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Like I said, I'm always amazed that not only do we have a lot of chicken people watch this, but we have a lot of people that don't have anything to do with chickens, that are friends of mine and family that are just entertained by this whole crazy hobby of ours. So it's good that we got that many. And I'm shocked that when Mike and I get the reports back of all the foreign countries. So they're getting to see a little bit of the crazy American chicken hobby too. So and they're just as passionate over there as we are here. So they get to see a little different look and different birds and different ways we do things.
Yeah, besides Canada, but the Middle East, oh man, we've got a boatload in the Middle East. Some in England. I see New Zealand, Australia. Uh, it's freaking amazing. I suppose it's subtitles, either that or they're really good because I barely can understand my own English, let alone people in another country. I've had a translator for what I talk, so it's really cool, and I appreciate all that. Everybody that's joined us today live, even though we never even told anybody we were going live. I think that's really neat. That means you like, you subscribe, and you share. And if you got the notifications on when this just hits us, like Matt this morning said, hey, how about we go on today? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I did. It enabled me. Our software enabled me to stick a thing on Facebook to let you know what time we were coming on. So I was real cringy up until that time to see how it linked between this software and Facebook, but it wasn't that bad. So we may do this some other time down the road. We can actually do a live seminar where you can register for it and all that. Oh, we're not quite that formal. So we just kind of get on here and do what we need to do when we want to do these live ones. So, but we do have Nate coming on Wednesday, so that's one for sure. We did sign one up and get it lined up. Our friend Gary Rossman's going to come on and talk about Columbian rocks. We believe that he just made his master breeder of Columbian rock bantam, so he's the very first one. And Gary's been real dedicated and raised a ton of those over the last few years to get them where they needed to be. So,
and really good ones, folks. I mean,
yep,
really good. They're rocks and they're Colombian, so that they're really really good. So that'll be great. We'll try to do more as we go through this stuff, not just breeds, but on different colors of things, because that's pretty intriguing. Some are really complicated. Some, even though they don't look complicated, I mean, hey, white and buff, and black, they're pretty damn complicated too. When you get
they all got their intricacies. I would like to get one on, and maybe so. We do need to announce that. So it come up in the ABA board meeting that we're going to. We haven't done it for a while because we haven't had anybody to manage it, but they're going to reinstitute an ABA Facebook page, and then we're going to do maybe a quarterly ABA podcast. So we'll probably do it like this, do it where it's live, and we'll get one of us or both of us and Karen on here and maybe Kim to shield Kevin too, because this to shield some of the questions that people have for the ABA. We haven't done much with Facebook over the years just because we didn't have anybody to manage it. They just don't have time to do it. So it won't be a real interactive page. It'll be more of a informal and informational page, I guess, because we don't have time to referee all that crap, I guess is the best way to put it.
The comments and stuff, and frankly, if you really know us, we don't do that shit.
You're not hard to find. We've both got email. We both get messengers, and if you needed to get one of us, we'll get whatever your question is to the person that can answer it.
Yeah, because as in all things, someone will say something and they'll ask me. I'm going to say this. I had this last night. And it's a good friend of mine was saying something, and what it is, I don't have to tell anybody. But what he said was, it's this thing, and I said, well, I would get with that committee. I would send that to the committee chair, because I don't have to know everything going through a committee, and neither does Matt. That's why you have people that are the head of those committees. If you micromanage anything, you'll never get shit done, and you'll go absolutely berserk, and it won't be any fun. So it's just like anything, managing a department or something. You pick the best people and you let them do their job. And if they
we have some exceptional committee.
We have exceptional directors. If you ask me, and committee heads that are actually very, very good at their job and can handle stuff, and stuff doesn't get out of control. That's the secret. You let people do their job. and you have their back, whatever. I don't know. That was a great revelation.
Yeah, I think that's all I can remember from the weekend. Great to see everybody. If I didn't get to talk to you, sorry about that. Lord knows. And on to Knoxville. So we will see everyone in Knoxville. We always have fun down there and good crowd. Same atmosphere. Laid back. Always liked the Dixie Classic. Cotton and Harry and the crew. James Treadway. They just make you feel like you're home.
Yep.
And we go every chance we get. It's just some years we get stacked up. I know we did make one revelation. We got to talking to Kyle in the meeting. So in October of next year, we're at Greenville, of course. Then we go to, what's the second week, Mike?
No, it's not Boston. The second week is, we go into Florida.
We go to Florida, way down to Tom Carey's show in Florida the second week. Got the third week off. The fourth week, we go to Kyle Tripp's show in Arizona. Or no, that's the last week. The fourth week is we go to Boston to Eddie's show, Eddie Blysh's show, Eddie and Steve Blysh's show. We go to Boston that weekend, and then we turn around and go to Arizona. So I thought, man, we're all over the United States in October next year when we said we were cutting back. Imagine that. So I'm thinking then we'll be back in the first week of November, probably setting up for the APA National at Columbus, and then the next week we're back to Columbus. So it'll be a blur. So we got to live that long.
We have to go to North Carolina to Neo show. You never can tell what we're going to do. But anyhow.
Yeah, there you go. And we got a January, a February, and a March too. So
yeah. So it's busy, but you know what? That's good. You don't want to get stale, man. You want to get out there.
Yeah, we got to hatch chicks in there sometime in between all that too.
So. I'll be at the every other day. I'll be around a few thousand chickens over to.
He'll be hatching to where maybe he might not want to hatch none of his own.
But I'll be here too, different days of the week. So it's going to be a wild year, but what the hell? When it's over, it's over. You might as well. Life is a participation sport. Go for all you can go. You can lay around when you're dead.
There you go.
I ain't got nothing else. We've been on.
I got nothing else. Well, thanks everybody for coming on here live, and we will try this again some other time, especially if we got something else we want to announce or we need more audience participation.
You know something else though? This will really be good if something does come up. So just a post, we can go live and do it and have it done besides just a post. So there's the possibilities in this. But
yeah, a little less production work on my end, I think, too, with this. So.
Oh yeah, let her roll,
all
baby.
Right. We're going. I'm out of coffee. It's time for a cigar.
Bye.
See you Wednesday.